There was no more time. Using his still hockey-imbued right fist, Luffy threw it towards Pigeon Man's face. Seeing it coming, he moved his own right hand to catch it, but just before impact, Luffy opened his fist, stretching out his fingers to make a net around Pigeon Man's head. The resulting elastic tension in his arm carried Luffy forward, and headbutted Pigeon Man. Soon all three had flown and then plummeted into the water of the dock. The three were sinking fast into the ever-darkening blue below. Luffy had returned to normal form and, paralyzed as he was by the sea water, could only gaze at the two figures in front of him. Grandpa, who had never eaten a devil fruit, was still able to struggle with his right hand clasped onto the left arm holding him, while his own left fumbled with something in the folds of his jacket. Pigeon Man, who had eaten a devil fruit, and was paralyzed like Luffy, could only gaze back with one visible eye under the web of Luffy's fingers, his red right arm still held tight onto Luffy's. Gazing into that eye, Luffy expected to see the same look of cruelty he had shown to Gramps earlier, but instead was surprised by what he saw, or rather what he didn't see. No fear of his impending death, neither hatred or anger towards his enemy, nor even a hint of regret. He wasn't at all sorry for any of the terrible things he had done, or what was about to befall him. That eye held only a motionless resolve to end all their lives, no matter the cost. It occurred to Luffy that the man might have slaughtered all of them that day, even his allies, and been unable to recall any one of them tomorrow, if his master had so ordered it. Luffy found his earlier anger give way to profound sadness at how easy it really was for the world government to strip away a man's soul. Yet even more than this, he was now deeply sad for himself, and for his family. He was sad that he was going to die, having realized too late he already had everything truly worth living for. Sad that he couldn't keep his promise to his Nakama and help them achieve their dreams. Sad for Nami and Ehime, that they would have to go on without him. Sad that he would never see their smiles again. Sad that he wouldn't get to see Ehime grow into a woman, strong, smart and brave, like her mother. He thought of Nami as he left her, still and bloodied on the floor of that courtyard. Why did he ever let her get put into danger? Why did he keep putting his Nakama in danger? Why didn't he think of a plan to take Pigeon Man down without sending himself flying into the water as well? Why did he never think things through? How could he be so stupid? Nami, I'm sorry I failed you. Goodbye, he thought sadly, finally letting go, to embrace peaceful oblivion. Then he looked to his grandfather. With his left hand now free, Gramps was holding a cannonball which he had pulled from somewhere in his jacket. Imbuing it with hockey, he brought the ball down and shattered it against Pigeon Man's right elbow. Luffy stared in astonishment as Pigeon Man's grip on his arm released, and the resulting shockwave shook Luffy's webbed fingers free. He drifted totally immobile away from the pair, then felt a large, reassuring presence grab hold of him and rise towards the surface, dragging him with them. Luffy watched helplessly as he rose up and the leopard human and his grandfather sunk further into the deep, just long enough for Gramps to flash him a devil may care grin, before disappearing into the darkness below. When they finally re-emerged and he was pulled up onto the edge of the now badly damaged dock, Luffy had regained some use of his mouth, coughing up water as he spoke. Cough. Cough. Gr. Grandpa gave his life to save yours, don't waste it, came a gruff reply. Having regained most of the function of his body, Luffy turned to face Jinbei, who he now saw was quite battered himself in his bout with Grandpa. Grandpa. Luffy looked once more to the waters that had claimed the man Vice Admiral Monkey D. Garp, the figurehead of justice. One of the most powerful marines the Navy, or the world government, had to offer. His enemy, the man that saved the woman Luffy loved. Gramps, Luffy sighed. Don't worry, Jinbei, I won't. There was no time for tears. He had to find the rest of his family. Regaining his strength little by little, Luffy glanced over the now ruined courtyard. Most of his crew were injured, but nothing life-threatening. Many more of the Marines and CPO agents visible, some with deep cuts and or trapped under rubble, were either unconscious or dead. Whether from the Mugiwara's assault or from Pigeon Man's blind kicks, he'd never know. Finally he spotted one of the two of his nakama he yearned to see most. Robin, bearing a few scrapes herself, was kneeling next to Nami and holding her, having torn off strips of her own outfit to bind Nami's wound. And Nami was still breathing, though it clearly pained her. Relieved slightly, Luffy automatically stretched out his arms and pulled her into a bridal-style hold, silently conveying as much love as he could as his forehead touched hers. Luffy, she whispered, spoke, wincing. Your grandpa. I'm sorry. It's all right, he replied, though they both knew he wasn't. We'll find her. And then he spotted her away off amongst the rubble. Where stories live. Discover now.